mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, ewas ng sinangalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitingin, lupa ng araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, sweet. So, a pleasant afternoon once again to everyone and to our audiences online. So, I would like to introduce myself. I am Camilo Campo, the Industry Relations Officer of PSIA, and I am delighted to be your host for this afternoon. And I'm honored to welcome you all to PSIA's 54th Enablement Seminar. So, this is our third and last.
Thank you. And thank you again, PSIA, for having us host the venue for this event and partnering with you guys. So to give you a background to PAX Cities, I don't have, I'm not gonna present any slides here, but I just want to share who PAX Cities. So PAX Cities is basically a global marketplace, or basically we're dealing with cloud solutions or SaaS solutions. So if you're imagine Lazada or Shopee, we're the likes of that, but we're selling security solutions, productivity, name it, no, yung mga softwares available. So we made a marketplace where we can have our partners, no, or like technology solution providers or ISVs, even developers to access yung mga solutions, applications in the market without having the struggle of going to the vendor directly or going to different contact person. So it's just in a one marketplace. So that's what we are. And basically, we started in the US. We are headquartered in the US, Denver, Colorado, and we've been in the business for about 13 years already. So how we do business is we have partners. We are also partners with different global vendors like Microsoft, SentinelOne, BetDown, Zimbra, Extras, and even other solutions in the market. So if you want to know further about our organization, we are just in that corner. We can have a discussion. Let's say if you want to protect basically your environment, application environment, then definitely we can help you with that as well. So basically we are a tool that you can utilize when it comes to the solution, technical consultations, services as well, across those industries, or categories when it comes to the softwares in the market. Okay. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Sir Joey. So, without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker this afternoon. So, our first speaker is a senior application developer with experience in IT consulting and product engineering. He is a Java SME, Java capability leader, innovations lead at IBM, and an open source contributor to the Java community. He is currently an active technical speaker at the community and a community leader of the Java User Group Philippines. So the only active Java user group in the Philippines. So this afternoon, he will be discussing deep dive of Spring Boot annotation. So let us all welcome and give a round of applause to Mr. Tristan Masinay.
Yeah, I'm Tristan Mahinay. I'm a senior application developer at IBM. And for my talk today is to have a deep dive on Spring Boot annotation. So on this event, I want to focus more on how we can understand how annotation works in Spring Boot, because sometimes when you have a training already on Spring Boot, you just follow the training and really don't understand why you put an annotation on the method. Okay. And I will do live coding, and some of my slides are not very extensive because I want to focus more on the coding part. So I can, at the end of the session, I can modify the, uh, I can modify the slides based on your feedback, if you really want to have the descriptions. But most of the descriptions of the annotations are really in the internet. So you can search it by one by one. But yeah, let's do the live coding.
So Sir Tristan will now be sharing his live coding, so you may also bring out your laptops and try what he will be doing on his program.
So hands up, who are here that created their own annotation? Yeah. Did someone here, hands up for developers here? Okay. So how about we have audience here in the, can you see their emoji if they are raising hands? So for the attendees, can someone raise their hands so that created their own annotation? I don't know if someone is already doing, but I can see, but that's okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna start my slideshow. So I've already introduced myself, and yeah, there's my socials that you can connect with me. But at the end, I'll just put a QR code instead. So just simple title, the type of Spring Boot annotation. In an hour, we will deal with relevant annotation. So going deep dive really with all the annotations is cumbersome because you will deal with low-level annotation. So the annotation that is not really meant for developers to be used in software development. But here, the annotation that I will introduce is some of the annotations that you can really see it in the code base in the production. So annotations, just subtitle for annotation, a quick one on what our annotation is it is a metadata on your code. Some languages call it a decorator. If you are in JavaScript, they call it a decorator to decorate something on top of your method, class, or functions. And in Java, we call it annotations. So here is an example annotation. So an annotation, for example, is a header. And this header annotation that I created will be used on a reporting file. So how can I get the values of the fields and put it in my reporting file? So I put a annotation, and first is the target. So first component of an annotation is the target. So target means what is in your code that I must put this annotation. For example of this one is the header I will put it in a field. But later on, we will see that the element type has many values. But for now, we will focus on the field. And the second part is the retention. So retention is how will be this annotation retained during run of my application. So one that is usually used is runtime. So annotation is discovered until runtime. Some values are for compile time, which is during the application run, in the compile time only that I will see and I will use a specific annotation. But for this one, a runtime is the scope of the runtime is until the end of the run of the application. So how this annotation was born in Java. So it started when Java version is used in Java 1.5. So that means Java 5. So in Java, we call it in the past 1.1, 1.2, but started after Java 1.6 and in Java 7. I think in Java 7, we already use the 7, not the 1.7 anymore. But for now, the first one is called the specification request called 175. So every feature in the Java language it has a document called Java specification request. So in the first part, they introduce it as a metadata facility. Since in Java 5 there was no feature on how to add metadata on your code. So that's the standardization of the annotation. And it was extended to the common annotations for Java platform and what was used also with web application frameworks like Java EE and Spring. And now the latest feature that an annotation was used is during the use of software detection, which is they can see already on your ID is that you have this annotation. Okay, so I will now do an annotation demo. Okay. Okay, so the Java version that I will be using now is Java 21, the latest long-term support of Java in the Java space. And if you can see here, I will create a annotation here and try to get on how or try to have a processing on how annotation works in Spring Boot. Because in Spring Boot already created measures on how to implement and process an annotation. But right now we will have a simple one. Just try to understand it. So first, I will create an annotation. I will create the annotation that I mentioned earlier for. I have an annotation called mic. I need the microphone.
Hello?
Okay. Okay, I need to use my let's just manually restart. Okay, custom value one. So uh um that's one of the feature of the Spring application that is from a property file. It can infer and then can get your value here. So it's useful when you want to get the environment variables. So when you use the at value here in runtime, it infers this kind of language. So this is called the Spring expression language. So there's you can read in the documentation what are the different Spring expression language syntaxes. And this one is we want to get it as a custom value. So yeah, we have a custom value now. Okay, let's stop this. Okay, let's going back. Maybe I can see, maybe I can show later the post construct and pre-destroy. It's useful in the databases. So the next one is the Spring core context annotation. So a while ago we deal with dependency injection, how to inject a bin. Now we deal on the behavior of the application, whether
if your application is in the dev or in the test. So one of it is profile. When I want to get a specific property file, use property source. And the one I mentioned earlier is configuration and nested configuration. So I think it should be nested. Yeah. So some of the configuration that you need is for the properties. I think I need to add the configuration properties here. So let me show you how the profile works. So profile, okay, add profile at bin. Let me see the profile. Dev employee service 1 at dev only. Example test. Dev employee service, dev employee service. Okay. Employee service, dev employee service. Okay, and then application properties, Spring dot profile active, let's say dev, and what else? Dev test. Okay, I'm gonna call again. Okay, I'm gonna call again that auto-wired private employee service. Employee service. Let's see. Because I want it to be dev. Then I want to edit this one. Active profiles dev. Should remove it. Then let's see. Yeah, if you see this one, it's dev employee service because I put a profile here. And if I want test run, stop rerun. Okay, it's test employee service. So yeah, that's the power of the profile. And on configuration, I will just add another one called properties. So package, I didn't add it in the slide, but called property. So the one earlier that I've used the custom, I can also do that as a Java class. So for example, the properties Java class, the custom properties, and I didn't add this one, but this is useful. Configuration properties, custom. So why are you enable configuration properties? Configuration. I think I know. So, Spring Boot. And then private string in let me see, one. So just like value, yeah, it's a value. And then I should at auto wired configuration properties. Custom properties. Let's see. Custom properties. Oh, I didn't have a getter. Private string is public get value, public set value, setter getter. Let's try this one. Okay. Okay. Oh, that would not. Spring Boot. I'll explain this annotation. Run this first. Okay. So the custom properties is acting like the one we did earlier, the at value file. So yeah, that's one. That's why you can also create a custom class for this one, for your for this one. Yeah. Let's go now to the other parts. Okay. So the stereotype. So I think there's so many. Okay. Let's go first to this one. I want to explain how the Spring Boot annotation works. So the Spring Boot application is the one that we use so that we can infer the dependencies of the Spring Boot application. So if we go again to the demo application, the Spring Boot application consists of three. So it consists of annotations called enable auto configuration, component scan, and the configuration itself. So it's three enable configuration, component scan, and the enable auto configuration. So that's why in just a single annotation, you can already see the dependencies that you need. And some important part is the use of the controller. So for example, we want to have a controller here. Controller. Java class. Enablement controller. So when we want to create or produce an API, we use a controller. So controller is the gateway so that each APIs or an interface can interact with each other. So at controller. And if you want to create a REST API, you could also use a at REST controller. Public string get enablement. And then some sample is the use of get mapping. So get mapping is the one that is used to get the data from the internet. And I want to have a URL of this one. So slash enablement. Okay. Can I? Okay. So let's try this one. Just a simple controller. Localhost enablement, localhost 8080 enable. Yeah, so that's in a quick coding, you can already return a message in just a get mapping. So here we get a response from our Spring Boot application, just a string, just to see that how controller works. Okay, so although you can also use the controller because okay, we're just passing a string here. Okay, let's see the behavior. Okay, no static resource. So if you want to add controller, you want to add body. And if you see this one, um, it's the controller is also a part of the stereotype. So part of the default annotation that is used in Spring. And rest controller here, if you see, it's controller and response body. So if you want to use rest controller, it's easy. But if you want just controller and you want to get an API or send an API, you need a response body. Let's see again. It doesn't want. Oh, it's already. Okay. Okay, so here it is, enablement. Okay, so although I didn't much touch the service, the repository, my partner will have a live coding too that will tackle that. And in this session, I just want you to understand that that's how annotation works. And I just given some examples here in my live coding on how it really behaves. But I will, for this deep dive, I will edit this slide so that you can also and also makes all for me. And yeah, thank you for listening to my talk about annotations.
Hello. Yeah. So thank you once again, Sir Tristan. So the floor is open for your questions. So for our audience online, you may input your questions in our Q&A chat box. Tapos for audiences here with us in the venue, just kindly raise your hand if you have a question. So you may ask na po, Sir Tristan.
So yung annotation naman, imagine yun.
Do we have questions online, Miss Anne? Yeah. So, sir, may comment lang po from APCP. So, HTTP methods in servlet are in the HTTP servlet. Not sure who sir answered. Is that a question or a statement?
Yeah, but yeah, Christian is correct. HTTP methods are used. So that's why I said earlier that Spring was based on the Java EE, because some of the classes and annotations that Spring uses are is dealing with Java EE like that, the HTTP servlet. So the earlier the get mapping and the controllers are based on that.
All right. So yes, please, sir.
No? Kapag nag-create ng custom annotation, talagang via reflection API lang siya pwedeng ma-process or may iba pa bang way?
Okay, so there's an innovation. If you have encountered Lombok and Quarkus, so these two, the one is library Lombok and one is the framework Quarkus. They are not using reflection, but they are now using a compile time inspection. So during build time, they already generated all the needed classes so that they don't need anymore to use the reflection. But yeah, that's new because Quarkus is the one that introduced that.
Any other questions for Sir Tristan? Online. So I think that's it, Sir Tristan. Thank you once again. So let us all clap our hands for Sir Tristan. Thank you, sir. So we will be having a short break. So you may take your snacks here. Kung nakikita niyo po yung side table. So for our audiences online, you may relax for 10 minutes po. So we will be back after 10 minutes. Thank you po. Have your snacks na po here and your refreshments. Thank you.
Information Technology and Academia. She is the Program Director of Algo Filipino, Program and Logistic Head at Angular Philippines, Community Leader at AWSUG Build First Plus, PC at AWS Restart, and one of the founders of DevCon Kids. So this afternoon, she will be discussing Spring into Docker. Let us all welcome and give a round of applause to Ms. Tony Fernandez.
Ayan. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Ayan. So, lalo na yung sa mga I'm going to share lang naman a little bit lang about the Spring Boot and Docker. So, we're gonna having we don't have any coding muna for the meantime. But I hope soon we can have a little boot camp kasi mas maganda if we demonstrate it into API and then going to Dockers. So, because of our time is very limited kaya medyo magkakaram tayo because there's a lot of things that we need to understand in Dockers and as well as in Spring Boot po. Okay, so hold on. Let me open my slides po. Hold on. To share it with you po. Ay, pwedeng i-ano sa Zoom na lang, no? Ayan. Teka. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, exit natin. Wow. All right, so yeah. Okay, so let's begin our presentation. So Spring into Docker. So this is containerizing our Spring Boot app into a Docker. Actually, some of my students uses Docker in their thesis because we have to run our model, especially in machine learning. No, sometimes kasi if we're going to use that in PC and then we run the model for machine learning, doon na namamatay na yung PC namin. Kasi hindi namin kayang i-run yung thousands of records plus yung karga ng model. So what we did in our thesis, we used the entire so that after, kumbaga parang we use the Docker or we containerize our app para lang ma-run yung aming model ng medyo mas mabilis compared dun sa PC talaga. So yan yung isa sa mga dapat din matutunan ng mga estudyante, lalo na sa mga computer science na nagtitake ng machine learning and artificial intelligence po. So before that, yes po, you may call me Tony. I am one of the educator po and software engineer and future sustainability scientist, I hope. That is one of the reasons why I take my post-grad for us or for me to be able to do some research. Okay, so what I do, ito yung short introduction. So I've been part of the community so that I can share them. So I've been part of DevCon and the Google Developers Group and the validators of TESDA in their cybersecurity incident handling, and as well as AWS po. So aside from that, I do a lot of talks then, most of the colleges and master's degree program as well. And most of my work po, sometimes I publish it po. So pag wala akong ginagawa, this is my stress reliever. So I do play this because for me, I believe that for us to be able to build our logic, we have to do some robotics kahit na laro-laro lang. And also, I really love this microbit kasi etong microbit na to, mini computer siya and we can use that here in the Philippines, lalo na doon sa mga areas na walang computer. So, ayan. And I also play Dota. Ayan, so mga pang-stress reliever ko yung mga yan. So, I hope kayo din naglalaro kasi pandagdag din yan ng critical thinking kung aatake ba kayo o hindi or something like that. So yeah, let's begin our discussion. So Docker, if we take a look on this one, is a platform for developing, shipping, or running application inside the containers. Before, I thought na etong Docker na to parang AWS memory storage lang before. So yun lang ang nakita kong capacity niya. But I didn't know na this one pala is for developing talaga for our applications to process, no, to move to a certain API. So, wherein the containers are the lightweight portable to ensure the consistency across the different environments. Kaya mas mapapadali yung mga ginagawa nating mga API. So, with this po, the Docker is a containerization platform that simplifies our application deployment by actually pinapackage niya all the necessary dependencies. Kaya kung makikita niyo sa Spring Boot, before you create your API, meron kang pipiliin doon na dependencies. So, depende dun sa dependencies mo, yun yung gagawin ng API mo. So, kung web ka, pipiliin mo yung web. Kung naka-jersey yan, pipiliin mo yung jersey. Something like that. And doon din sa Spring Boot, ang magandang implementation sa kanya, you can have the Maven or Grygen, yung mga ganyan. And yeah, by using the Docker containers, you can streamline the deployment processing to achieve greater portability and reliability. So this is the Docker concept. So in the Docker concept, we have the Docker file. And then nagkakaroon tayo ng build. And meron tayong, etong Docker na to, itong Docker image na to, this is the snapshot ng mga deployments natin. And these snapshots, iraran yan dito sa ating Docker container. So ganyan yung pinaka-basic na concept ni Docker. So sa Spring Boot naman, this is one of the framework that simplifies the development. And usually sa Spring Boot, yan na yung mga production-ready application using Spring Framework. So yung Java natin, I know ang hirap po ni Java. Kasi nung first time ko nag-aral ng Java, iniyakan ko talaga siya. Dahil yung sa implementation, yung sa pagpaprocess, medyo hindi siya ganun ka user-friendly. So, ito si Spring Boot, sinisimplify niya yung development in a Java environment. And aside from that, it provides embedded services and free configure settings. And it makes making it easy to build standalone applications. So, why Dockerize your Spring Boot app? Number one, yung consistency. Yan. Kasi si containers, katulad ng sinasabi natin, container siya, so naka-encapsulate yan. So everything na need natin to run the application, ini-ensure natin na it runs the same way in any environment. Kaya maganda siyang gamitin. And also, sinisimplify niya yung deployment. So yung deploying ng application is as simple as running a container with a single command. So single command lang magra-run na siya. Pero kailangan walang errors or walang dependency issue yung ating application. So one of the problem that I encounter in deploying the Spring Boot sa Docker is yung compatibility minsan ng machine. Pag nakamak kasi minsan ng daming compatibility issues, hindi ma-download si tar, hindi maging okay yung mga JDK. So yun yung nagiging problem ko minsan. But other than that, problemahin sa deployment ng Docker. Scalability, the containers can easily replicated and managed to scale applications horizontally. Yan. So ito yung pinaka-importante rin in terms of development. So actually, this is the step-by-step of deploying a Spring Boot app with a Docker. So of course, we're going to create Spring Boot application using the Spring Boot IO. And then magkakaroon tayo ng package using the MB Clean package kasi kung Maven yung gagamitin ninyo. So sometimes etong package boot up nagbabago yan depende dun sa package na pipiliin ninyo. And then the next is that you're going to write a Docker file to build a Docker image naman. And after that, you're going to create the Docker image using that Docker file. And of course, iraran na siya and the applications will access in browser. So, ito yung sa ating Spring Boot, no? Kung titingnan natin to, we have Spring Initializer. So ito yung ginagamit natin for our Spring Boot. Teka, hold on. Let me show lang this slides lang na to. Okay, so ito yung ating initializer. So kung makikita nyo dyan, we have Cradle, we have Kotlin, we have Maven, we have Java. Ito yung sa mga language, we have Groovy, we have Kotlin. So yung mga yan. And kung makikita nyo, we have the version. Pero usually ako mas pinipili ko yung ito na, yung parang default na version na. And then here, ito yung mga project metadata kung saan natin siya ilalagay. So pwede tayo maglagay dito ng group name, ng artifact, kung ano ilalagay yung pangalan, and then ito na yung magiging name ng package. And also yung packaging niya, kung naka-jar, kung naka-war, and yung version ng Java. So as of this moment, ang version na, ang latest version is Java 22, pero pinipili ko pa rin yung pinaka-least. Kasi some of the machines, hindi updated. Likewise, yung nangyari kay Ubuntu, di ba? We encounter some problems kay Ubuntu nung nag-update sila, iyak lahat ng mga app that time. So isa na rin kaming affected that time. So, madali ang OT na naman yun. yan yung masakit pag nag-a-update. And nabago na tong Spring Boot na to. Before kasi, yung Spring Boot, lahat ng dependencies nakasulat, tapos iba-browse mo ng iba-browse. But today, it's very different. You just add dependencies and then itatype mo lang yung mga kailangan mo. So usually akong ginagamit ko lang is Spring Web, kung gagawa ko ng RESTful API, kung web app. Eto kapag React Web, kapag sa phone naman ako gumagawa ng applications. Ayan. So yan naman yung mga dependencies po natin. Okay? So after natin mamili ng mga dependencies, we can generate this. And yun na, makikita natin yung naka-generate na. So, ang environment na ginagamit ko kay Java si IntelliJ. Before kasi si IntelliJ, merong community. Yung free, ngayon wala na. Wala na yung community. So, ang ginagawa ko na lang minsan na framework, na editor is Sublime or VS Code. Kaya lang si VS Code po mabigat. Hindi siya lightweight talaga dahil sa dami ng packages. So, ako kapag hindi complicated yung talagang kinocode ko, sa Sublime ko lang siya niraran. And then, mano-mano para masanay sa back-end style. Pero usually, ang ginagamit ko pag gumagamit ako ng Spring Boot is IntelliJ. Ayun, sana ibalik yung yung community para free. Okay? So, yan yung ating Spring initializer. Ayan, so makikita natin yan. And then, teka, hold on. Let me go back. Okay. Ayan. So, eto naman, yan. So, mamimili tayo ng dependencies para dun sa gagawin natin. And kapag nag-create na natin yan, ito na yung magiging sample na boot project yan. So, may mga annotations yan. So, yan yun na yung mga examples, no? And then, ito yung example ng Docker file. Ayan. So, aside from that, ito yung mga command na sinasabi ko sa inyo na pwedeng i-execute. Ayan. I know hindi natin matatandaan yan lahat. Mas maganda pinapractice po talaga siya. So, yan po yung mga command na, ito yung mga command na ginagamit natin dun sa paglaran ng boot app. Ito kasing -t, ibig sabihin yan tags. And then, etong may Spring Boot app, dash app, ito yung meron ng image name ng ating app. And etong dot na to, importante yan because ito yung nagre-represent ng current directory. So, after that, pwede ninyong basahin. Ito yung ginagamit kong mga references. So, I have Docker Deep Dive. Ito yung mga magagandang content. Kasi sometimes yung ibang libro, hindi pragmatic. So, I'd rather to choose pragmatic book. So, si Docker Deep Dive, maganda yung explanation niya. And yung Spring Boot in action, dyan talaga ako natuto. Kasi hindi masyadong theoretical yung explanations niya. So kung gusto nyong i-enhance yung knowledge nyo about the Docker or Spring Boot, ito yung dalawang librong binasa ko. Ayan. So, hold on. Teka. Open lang natin yung ating, let me share with you po. Teka. Ayan, hindi ko mapakita yung sa Docker kasi nagkaroon ako kanina ng, sa PC, gumagana siya. Nung dineploy ko na kay Mac, ayun na. Ayaw na. Doon ako na yun po, yung sample nung na-download ko dun sa pag-build natin sa Spring Boot. Ayan, let me share it with you guys. Para lang you have the idea, no, kung paano siya. Ayan. So, dito makikita natin, ginamit ko si IntelliJ. So, ito yung, ganito lang natin, ito yung pinakasimpleng Docker file. Yung ibang makikita nyo sa ibang book, ang dami, ang haba. Kasi lahat ng mga environment nila, nakalist po doon. Pero ito yung pinakasimple. If you want to start or start the ropes to learn the Docker file. And ito naman, yung binild natin kay Spring Boot. Ayan. So ito, ang simple lang netong project na to, makikita lang natin sa localhost yung hello dyan. Ayan. So usually, let me open my Chrome. Ayan. So iraran ko lang po. Ang gusto ko dito kay Spring Boot, mas napadali yung buhay ko nung pag nagko-code ng Java. Unlike nung mga unang panahon. Talaga may unang panahon. Nung unang panahon po talaga pahirapan. Ayan. So, check natin. So, pag nag-check po tayo, makikita nyo sa baba, no, kapag nagle-learn tayo ng run tayo, makikita natin yung Tomcat natin. So, makikita natin yan kung and natin ito 8080. Ayan. Nagbabago port. Sometimes kasi by default yung 8080, pero usually kasi pag kay React pwede mong baguhin yung yung port, no? So makikita natin diyan and lahat ng mga initializations na andiyan. Ayan. So kapag nilagay natin doon sa ating localhost, ito po ay sorry. Teka, pakita ko lang saglit. Ito lang siya. Ito lang yung pinaka-output niya. So, etong output niya, naka-prettify yan. Kasi dito kay Chrome, dinagdagan ko yan ng extension. So, kapag nag-i-Spring Boot ako, meron akong extension na ginagamit kay Chrome. Kasi pag wala yung extension, naka-ano siya, hindi naka-prettify. Ayan. So, ito yung ating extension. So, yung extension na ginagamit ko ay itong JSON view. Kaya kung makikita natin, yung output natin po ay naka-JSON format na naka-prettify. So, yan po yung pinaka-output nung ating simple code na yon. Pero kung titingnan nyo po, napakadami nung code. Pero kumbaga mas okay yan kesa do sa purely Ayan. So, eto siya. Kung makikita nyo, may API po talaga siya. And dito, eto yung ating giniget niyang message. So, kapag get kasi, usually nakapost yan kay browser. Kaya lang kapag put, delete, yung mga yan, hindi natin makikita kay browser yan. Kaya gagamit tayo ng Postman para mara natin or ma-verify natin yung mga API na na-build natin. So after nyan, after nating ma-run yan, so dito sa may, dito parang ka-level ni target, ito yung dito kayo gagawa or mag-make kayo ng file para kay Docker. Tapos kapag nagawa natin yan kay Docker, pupunta kayo dito sa pinaka-project, tapos i-build natin yung Maven file. Ayan. So, doon ako nagka-problema dito kanina doon sa Maven file. Ayan. So, pakita ko lang sa inyo, guys. Ay, hindi pala nakikita. Okay. So, hindi pala nakikita sa sa screen. Kasi naka-custom menu siya. So, dito, i-run natin yung Maven. So, kapag na-run natin yung Maven, i-containerize na yan, tapos dadalhin na yan sa Docker. So, yan yung simple na API. So, itong API na to, pwede nyo dagdagan yan, katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo mga HTTP methods. And, pero bago nyo gamitin yun muna, kailangan nyo muna siyang i-run kay Postman. So, ayan, yun lang po. Yan. So, thank you so much po for this afternoon. Yan. Teka, stop ko. I-terminate ko lang po. Ayan.
Huwag na po love life. Algo lang po, okay po na. Pero pag love life,
I believe hindi po namin nalagay dito yung poster, but it would be on September 20 at the Globe Basement 1. 27, sorry. It would be on September 27, and we would be having Miss Celeste Elaga as our speaker. So for our members here, if you're interested po, it would be on September 27 from 6 to 9 p.m. So I think that is all po. So thank you. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Makalimutan natin yung pinaka-important na item for this afternoon. So maybe please call on Ms. Carmina from Acunet to announce the winner po of our free training, voucher, sorry, training voucher. So Ms. Carmina.
Hello po, good evening everyone. By the way, I'm Carmina Randon from Acumen IT Training. And first of all, again, I would like to thank everyone for your support of the BSIA events and initiatives. And then for the announcement of our training voucher winner, sorry, nag-raffle lang po kami kanina para i-announce na lang po yung winner ngayon. By the way, our training voucher, which will be given one for the Selenium training, which is worth of 90,000 pesos. This will be on October 21 to 25. And React JS training voucher, which worth of 60,000 pesos. This October 14 to 18 na po itong mga training na lang. And then, ayun. Okay, the winner po for the Selenium training is Mr. Miguel Magbita. And then for the React JS training is Miss Diana Humor. Ayun po, we'll be sending na po email sa inyo, and then the terms and conditions, and then if there's and any updates regarding the training po. So yun lang po. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Carmina, and congratulations to our winners. Also, I would like to invite everyone din po. This coming September 16 to 20, we will be having our Learning Week Skill Search e-webinar series. 5-day learning, 5-day po ito na puro webinars. Iba-ibang session po. For example, for day 1, we have IT security training. For the day 2, standard process and governance training courses. And then for the day 3, mga end user courses. And for the day 4, we have the software testing training. And then for the last day is the technical courses. It includes the AIML, Docker, and you can also visit our Facebook page, Acumen PH, Acumen Philippines, or our website, acumenph.com, para po makapag-register kayo. Yun lang ba? Thank you so much. Alright, thank you once again, Ms. Carmina, and congratulations to our winners. So I hope you learned a lot more for this enablement seminar, and we hope to see you at PSIA's next event. So thank you. We now exit the venue. Ingat po, everyone.